William Morris is a detective-minded person. He observes everything with a detective mind. He is an assistant manager at Ragnier's. He was doing his daily job of putting the jewelry in the windows. He saw a lady, well dressed up lady, standing at undertaker's shop, which was opposite to Ragnier's, for quite 15 to 20 minutes. उसने एक बहुत ही सुंदर सजी हुई लेडी को देखा जो कि अंडरटेकर की शॉप पर खड़ी थी. Who is an undertaker? A person whose job is to prepare dead bodies for cremation or burying. आपको पता है जब आपके घर में या कहीं भी किसी की डेथ होती है तो पहले उसे अंडरटेकर की दुकान पर लेकर जाया जाता है और फिर वो उसे प्रिपेयर करता है बरिंग के लिए. That is an undertaker. I hope you have understood. Undertaker was opposite to the Ragnier's. Who is a Ragnier? Ragnier is a person who sells antique jewelry. Antique means rare masterpieces. Antique jewelry which are very expensive at a very high price that only celebs such as millionaires, film stars, players of the cricket ground, players of the football ground can buy them. A common person can't buy them. Now he was putting the jewelry in the window. He saw a lady. She was observing two urns. Urn is a special container which is used to hold ash when a dead person has been burnt. So she was observing two urns for holding ash and some photographs of gravestones. Now, William Morris was a detective-minded person. Her interest in such things struck him very strange, because if someone had died, someone dear to her had died, then why is she wearing so yellow, bright colored clothes with vivid zigzag pattern and matching sandals? Generally, we wear black or any other sign of mourning when someone dear to us dies, but she was not showing any sign of mourning. So now it struck his mind. Now let's read this story of the assistant jeweler manager whose name is William Morris. He foils the plan of the stealers. Now let's do the pre-reading task. Observe the given picture carefully. Can you make some guesses about the man in the picture by observing them? Yes, he seems to be a detective because he is observing something with the help of a microscope. Therefore, we can suggest him a detective. Discuss with your friends and list a few qualities that a good detective should possess. There are many qualities that a good detective should possess. These are: he should be a keen observer, he should be far-sighted, clever, he should have self-control, he should have thinking skills, he should be concentrated, active, alert, vigilant, he should have common sense. These all are the qualities and many more should he possess. Next question is: have you ever observed strangers while traveling in a train or a bus stop? Narrate an incident when you could make some guesses about a stranger by observing him. You yourself should do this question. Now let's come to the story. Here the narrator of the story is William Morris and the writer is Nicolas Bentley. The narrator name is William Morris. He is an assistant manager at Ragnier's. I have told you this. His hobby is the study of crime and criminals. So he has studied the crime stories of Edgar Allan Poe and Agatha Christie and many more great authors. He enjoys the stories where the detective is an ordinary man who uses his common sense to the full. He loved to watch how men and women behave, the way they walk, speak, pray, what they eat, read, wear, and wish for. Nothing ever escapes his sharp eye. Now, let's read the story of the jeweler. I have told you about the starting of the story. Now, this is the picture of an antique jewelry which have been in the possession of a royal family, or which have been a gift to a princess from a prince, right? This is an example of antique jewelry. Now let's go to the next page. Next page summary I am telling you. Now, when he finished his arranging his jewels, a customer came in. It was immediately clear to him, it was immediately plain to him that the person was an American. From here, you can easily see that he is detective minded, because only by observing a person he is saying that the person is an American. Now let's see why it was plain to him that he was an American. Plain means clear. Why it was clear to him that he is an American? Because he observed his haircut, his tie in so many bright colors. He was a big, strongly built man with red face, and the way he was chewing his gum, American chew gums. Therefore, he uh, decided that the customer was an American. It was plain to him that the customer was an American. Even he also noticed that the American, was 30 to 35 years old. He asked what should he show. Now, he, with a Yankee accent, Yankee means American accent, said to look at some rings. When William Morris asked and that if he had a particular kind in his mind, the American said no. It it was very strange, because the customers who came to Ragnier's knew what they wanted, what kind they wanted, and have some idea of jewels. But the American didn't have any idea of jewels, because when William Morris showed him jewelry, he was asking their price and judging them with the help of their price. The price was the only measure by which he judged them. Now a question can be come, why William Morris noticed that the American didn't know much about jewels, because he was guessing the jewels by their prices. Now, there was a most beautiful ring with diamonds and rubies set in the shape of a flower. It was well over 300 years ago old and had been in the possession of a royal family. Mr. Ragnar had set very high price on it, because he loved it as much as he loved his children. There were some jewels in his shop, in Mr. Ragnar's shop, that he loved as much as he loved his children. That flower ring was one of those rings. He really did not wish to sell it, but so that the person may not buy it. He had set a very high price on it. As the American was judging the rings with the help of their price, so he thought the flower ring to be the best. Now, when but he complained it about its price, because as we go to any shop we complain about the things price. He also complained. Now when now William Morris had shown him three trays. When he when he turned to show him fourth fourth tray, then he noticed that the flower ring had been disappeared. The diamond and ruby ring had been disappeared. He made a sign to Miss Suskin, another assistant in the shop. Now a question can be there. Why did he call Miss Suskin? Because he wanted to do everything in someone's presence, and she stood behind. Now William Morris asked the American if he have taken the ring, but now he said, no, I have not taken. I am not the one who, I have not decided on anything yet. I am not the one who is going to choose. Later in this morning, my wife will come and she will choose which ring to buy. Now, Mr. Ragnier, he then called Mr. Ragnier. Mr. Ragnier was most upset because his favorite ring has been lost. But he was doing his best to keep calm. Now Miss Suskin said, we should look in the turn up of the customer. Turn ups of his trousers, of customer's trouser. The suggestion was reasonable. Why? Because it is quite easy for something small to drop in the turn up of a trouser leg. Therefore, they looked. Now, Miss Suskin was a very kind lady. She looked in the turn-ups of a American's trouser. Now, American gave a very ugly look. His face turned even redder when we are angry like that. And now William Morris noticed that he had stopped chewing. It is given that I noticed that he had stopped chewing. Now you can see he even noticed that he had stopped chewing. He even noticed that the American was left-handed. As when we choose rings, the person who is right-handed, he picks the ring with right hand, and person who is left-handed picks them with left hand. Therefore he also judged this, and he was looking at Miss Suskin with a very ugly look, like a fierce dog ready to bite. It was a very dangerous moment. The narrator was afraid, but Miss Suskin stood there perfectly calm. Now the now Mr. Ragnier Mr. Now Mr. Ragnier asked, American said that you think that I have stolen it. But Mr. Ragnier said, no, we don't think, because when we report the matter to the insurance company, we shall have to inform that we made a thorough search on our customers also. So now American said, okay, I am ready for the search. Now the Ragnier took him to his office for searching the ring. And now when this all was happening, When everyone was searching for the ring, another customer came in. Who was this customer? This customer was the lady who was standing at the undertaker's shop for a long time. Now, her coming at this moment, William Morris thought it is strange as she come that moment only. Now, William Morris noticed that her handbag was of expensive kind, but it was worn out and very shabby, and it was old. Same was for for her clothes. They were also very expensive, but worn out, and they were very shabby. So it was clearly clear to him that once she was well off, but now she was living in poverty. Now she was living in poverty. Now, see, she didn't come there to buy anything. It was clear from her style of wearing clothes, her handbag, and her clothes. Now, William Morris thought maybe she has come here for with something to sell. Now she put her handbag on the counter. She took a little paper packet out of her bag and put that down beside her bag, using her left hand to do this. But she had not shown herself left handed in any of the things that she had done before. William Morris noticed all these things. William Morris opened the packet which she had put, and found a cheap jewelry, a filigree brooch. Filigree is a thing made from delicate twisted wire. A filigree brooch with an imitation turquoise stone. Turquoise is a bluish green stone. Turquoise means bluish green stone with an imitation turquoise stone worth about, it was only about 30 shilling. A shilling is even smaller than a rupee. Shilling is even smaller than a rupee. Now it is very cheap. It was very cheap, as Regniers sold jewelry which costed lakhs or like so. They also costed in pounds or dollars, like that. Now it was only of 30 shillings, a filigree brooch. Now, and what did she ask? She asked that if William Morris could mend it. Mend means repair it. But everyone knows Regniers. They didn't do repairs. Everyone knew. Now it was also strange for William Morris that someone has come for repairing of a cheap brooch. Now as if by accident. Now William Morris has said as if by accident. Why he says as if by accident? He says as if because जैसे कि, he saying जैसे कि एक्सीडेंट से उसने ऐसा शो किया कि जैसे ये एक्सीडेंट हुआ हो, कोई एक्सीडेंटली उसकी आर्म स्वेप्ट हो गई हो पेपर से और उसका जो ब्रोच था वो नीचे गिर गया हो, जहां पर विलियम मॉरिस की साइड पर उसने ऐसा शो किया, बट ऐसा था नहीं. इट वॉज नॉट accidentally, the paper was not fallen, but it was a cunning trick. It was a cunning trick of the lady. Now now when William Morris bent down to take the packet, all the things come in mind and form a single picture. Now he knew what had happened to the ring. Now let's see on the next page. He put the brooch back into the paper wrapping and handed it to her. She used her right hand to do this, Firstly, she put it on the counter with with her left hand, but now when she put it again in her bag, she used right hand to do this. They You can see William Morris even noticed which hand the person was using to do his work. Right now, uh, William Morris stopped the lady, but she pretended that she hadn't heard, but she heard. Now again, William Morris stopped her and said, "If you don't stop, I shall press the alarm and the door will be locked." Now, uh, the lady stopped, but she didn't look round. Now, William Morris said, "Madam, will you please hand me the ring that is in the left hand pocket of your coat?" You can see he has searched the ring, and he even noticed where the ring was. It was in the left hand pocket of the lady's coat. He even noticed this all. Now, the lady was very surprised. Uh, she was caught red-handed. She was looking deathly pale and very frightened. She felt in her pocket and gave the ring. She ran out of the shop as the place was on fire. When the place is on fire, she ran like that. Now, Mr. Ragnar come out of his office with the American after searching him. American had a big grin of satisfaction on his face, but Mr. Ragnar was not smiling as his has been lost. He was as white as a sheet. He was in pain. As white as a sheet means he was in pain. His voice was shaking. He apologized to the American for his misbehavior. Now, William Morris showed the ring to Mr. Ragnar. Mr. Ragnar was very happy. What a mixture of astonishment, joy, and thankfulness came on his face. Now, the American also fled from the shop like a shot from a gun, because he and the lady had stolen the ring with a cunning trick. Now, Ragnar asked, how did you find it? Now the story begins from how did he find the ring. As I have told you, first, when the American came, it struck him as the American didn't mostly American don't come to their shop because they need something modern, but what they keep was not, it was old, it was antique jewelry. But, and second thing was, he didn't knew much about jewelry, but the customer came to them knew something about jewelry. Now the young woman, she was also she was also a strange person, as if someone dear to her had died, she should wear some sign of mourning. Now that's all. When the ring lost, she came and gave us a brooch to repair. But everyone knows Regners. They don't do cheap repairs. Now, she was not left-handed, but she took the packet out of her bag with left hand and put her left hand at the same place where the American who was left-handed had put his hand after after William Morris had taken the last tray of rings out of the safe just before the ring had lost. Means जब जहाँ पर अमेरिकन ने अपना लेफ्ट हैंड रखा था, जो कि लेफ्ट हैंडेड था, जहाँ पर उसने अपना लेफ्ट हैंड रखा था, उस लेडी ने वहीं पर अपना लेफ्ट हैंड रखा. इसका मतलब कि जहाँ उसने वहां पर रिंग अटका दी और उसने वहां से ले ली. You can clearly see. Now he when the uh, when the ring was lost, American had stopped chewing his gum. Now then where did the gum go, chewing gum go? You cannot swallow chewing gum. Other is they didn't keep their a waste paper basket or a dustbin, you can say, and he hadn't moved in an inch in any case if he had thrown it outside. Now he had put the ring something in his reach where his hand could reach. Where else could he put other than the edge of the counter? If he had put the chewing gum at any other place, Mr. Ragnier, Mr. Suskin, and William Morris would have observed it. Now he pressed the ring in the chewing gum under the edge of the counter, and the lady, when the lady came, she took the ring from there, and now there was the ring in the left hand pocket of the lady's coat. Now the whole story came. Now how differently people react in some same happening, you can see. Mr. Ragnier was angry at the attempted theft, but most grateful to the narrator, most grateful to the William Morris. But Miss Suskin only said TSK, TSK. I noticed she often say TSK, TSK when anything upsets her. I hope the story has been clear to you. Now, what is the theme of the story? Theme of the story is the story is giving us a message that we should be a keen observer as William Morris. If he was not there, the ring had been taken away by the American and the lady, and Mr. Ragnar would have faced a great loss. So we should be keen observer. We should observe everything very carefully. If we were in his place, we think that no matter what he she doing, what I have, what मेरा उससे क्या लेना देना, we think this thing, but we should not think. We should observe everything very carefully. We should be a keen observer. Okay, so I think the story has been clear to you. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel, share the video so that everyone can get the maximum benefit. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that you may get my videos first, and I will explain the whole chapter in detail with word meanings in my next video. So don't forget to watch my next video. Thank you.